In today's video, I'm going to teach you an awesome trick that you can use to get more sales on eBay. And we're going to get started right now. What's up guys, my name is Justin and I go by Coach Commerce here on YouTube. And on my channel, I love teaching people how to get better at selling on eBay. And in today's video, we're gonna focus on an easy trick that you can do to get more sales on eBay. Now the trick that I'm gonna be teaching today is something that I call the last item method. And this trick works best for items in your store that are multiple quantity items, that are good till canceled, and have some type of sold history on eBay. Now the way that this trick works is you're gonna go into your eBay account and you're gonna change anything that has a multiple quantity to a stock unit of 1. Now on eBay, when you change the quantity of a listing to 1, a few different things happen that are really good and really work in your favor. Now the first thing that happens when you change the quantity to 1 is on that listing page, eBay puts a big bold red heading at the top of that listing that says last one available. And this is great because anybody that's looking at that item, they see it and they think that there's only one left, when in reality you might have more of that actual item. And what this does is it creates a sense of scarcity or a sense of urgency for the buyer, and they think that, oh, I better buy this before it's gone and I can't purchase it in the future. Now another great thing that'll happen is anytime you change the quantity of a listing to 1, any watchers that you have on the item, eBay will send a message to their account saying, hey, you better act fast because if you don't jump on this item, it's going to sell and you're going to miss out. And that's a really powerful marketing tool that you don't have to even do anything to do. eBay is brilliant when they come to marketing, and of course, eBay makes money whenever they make sales. So the brilliant brains at eBay have studied buying behavior, and they know that anytime there's a scarce item or a rare item or something that's going to be the last of whatever it is, that potential people will want to come in and buy that item. So whenever you go ahead and change the quantity to 1, eBay is going to send an email out to anybody that might be interested in purchasing that item. And then finally, probably the biggest and best thing that happens when you change the quantity to 1 is your item jumps all the way up to the top of search. And if you've been selling on eBay for any period of time, you know how huge this is. People that are shopping online do not like to scroll, they don't like to search. Typically, studies have shown whatever shows up at the top of whatever search result people are looking for, that's the most likely item to get bought. And when you change the quantity to 1, it jumps all the way up to the very top of eBay search because eBay wants to move that item to make money, thinking that you only have one of that item left. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead now and jump over to my eBay account and show you how to implement this strategy and put it into action. But before I do, I know what some of you guys are thinking. You might be thinking, if I have a multi-quantity listing that only has a quantity of 1, doesn't that kind of defeat the entire purpose of maybe getting buyers that are wanting to buy multiples of that particular item? And if I have the listing to only, 1 left, they can't go in and automatically purchase more than 1. And while that may be true, I can tell you that in my experience using this method, that doesn't seem to be the case. Oftentimes, people that want to buy more than 1 item have no problem with messaging a seller and saying, hey, do you have more of these in stock? Or when will you get more? I would like to purchase more than 1. And whenever I receive that message, I go ahead and I reply back saying, hey, I do have more of these. I just haven't updated my stock keeping unit yet, and you're more than welcome to go in and purchase more if you'd like to. And then whenever I get that message, all I do is I go back into eBay and bump the unit up to however many that buyer may actually need. And I can tell you, in my experience using the last item method, I make way more overall total sales than if I were to have that same listing up with a larger quantity of that same item. Okay, so now let's go ahead and jump on over to eBay and I'll show you how this method works. Okay, now that I'm here on eBay, there are a couple of things that I want to do before I just jump right in and change my listings to a quantity of 1. And the very first thing I want to do is I want to enable the out of stock feature in my eBay account. Now, if you're not familiar with the out of stock option on eBay, basically what this does is anytime you have a multi-quantity listing and it sells out, that listing does not end. So if you have a replenishable item, or in this case, if you list your quantity as 1 and you sell that quantity, the listing doesn't actually end. And this is a really great feature because when you have the out of stock option turned on, you don't have to automatically go back and relist or sell similar. And on top of that, anytime an item sells on the multiple quantity listing, it's gonna add more sales data to that actual listing. And when more sales data is added, it of course brings it higher up in search on the eBay page as well. So to turn the out of stock option on, you're gonna go to your account settings. Then you're going to scroll down to your selling preferences. And then when you're in your selling preferences, you're gonna look for the multi-quantity listings option, and then you're gonna click the toggle to turn it on. And when you turn that function on, your listings are gonna stay active when you're out of stock on that item. Now, one more thing that's also really great about using the out of stock option is that anytime when you have an item in your eBay store that sells that only has a quantity of 1, eBay doesn't count that listing ended, which in effect hides it in search results. And this is great because any competitor that you might have that might be wanting to take ideas from your eBay store, they're not going to be able to see what items you've actually sold. And when you have an item in your store that has a quantity of 0, that listing stays active for 90 days. And then if you don't update the quantity, to more than 1 or more, it'll eventually drop off after that 90-day period is over and that listing will end. Okay, so now that we've turned on the out of stock feature on our eBay stores, I'm gonna jump over to my seller account into my active listings, and I'll show you how I use the out of stock method in my eBay account. Okay, so now that I'm in my eBay account, I'm looking for an item that has multiple quantity. So if I go to my active listings here on the middle tab, I can see that here's a listing that has a quantity of 7. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this method works best for an item that already has a little bit of sales history. So if I click on this necklace, I can tell that this unit has already sold 7 and I have 7 of them left. Which this actually is a really good listing to target because I haven't sold any of these in a long time, which means that this item has gone stale on eBay and it's probably been bumped way down in search. So if I come back to the active listings tab and I go over here to where my available quantity is, if I hover over that column, I can go ahead and edit that field. I can change my available quantity down to 1. So now it's gonna show on eBay that only 1 item is left. And now that I've updated the quantity to 1, I'm gonna go ahead and click on that active listing to show you what happens when you change the quantity to 1. So here we go. As you can tell now, before it said quantity of 7, now it shows there's only a quantity of 1, and right beside it, it shows last one in big, bold, red heading. And this is great, of course, because anybody that is looking at this page sees there's only 1 left and they have a sense of urgency to want to buy it. And now that I have a quantity of 1, also, like I mentioned earlier, people that were watching this item are going to get an email saying, hey, there's only 1 left, and this item is going to be bumped up in search. Now, one common problem that a lot of eBay sellers run into when they drop the quantity of a listing down to only 1 is oftentimes they forget how many items they have left in their inventory, because now, eBay doesn't have a way of populating or showing how many items are left. So some things that people will do is they'll go into their description field of the eBay listing and they'll add in how many quantity they have, which kind of defeats the purpose, if you ask me, of only saying you have 1 left. Because if the buyer were interested and they scrolled down, they saw, that you have multiple quantity available, but the listing's only showing 1, it kind of sends a mixed signal. So what I like to do is I like to go into my custom label or my SKU, and I like to add in how many are left. So then when this item actually sells, I can go in and look right beside it in this column here to see how many I have, available. And then I can go in and add another quantity, and then each time that item sells, I'll actually change the SKU to match how many I have left in my active inventory. So to do that, I'll go ahead and come over to my custom label column, and right here, I'm gonna click the edit button. Yellow box 9 is where I have all of these necklaces stored in my inventory. But what I like to do is I like to just put in a note afterwards saying how many I have left. So if I had 7 originally and I put in a quantity of 1, the extra that I don't have mentioned on this account would be 6. So now that I've added my little note, I'm gonna go ahead and click submit, and then you'll notice it automatically will upload, and then that note with how many quantity I have left will be added behind where I have my custom label field already added. And of course, anytime it sells, I'll go ahead and change the SKU as well as the quantity to make it a quantity of 1 again. So there you have it, guys. That's all there is to using the last item method. As you can tell, there's very little effort required. There's a little maintenance going back and forth between item to item, updating the quantity from 1 or 0 to another item anytime that item sells. But really, if you're struggling with making sales, or if you have an item that was selling well that is no longer selling, this is a great thing that you can do to give your item a little boost and encourage buyers that are interested in that item to actually buy your product. Now, one question people have asked me when I've taught other people how to use this method before is, is this allowed on eBay? Are you being dishonest and lying or disingenuous to game the system in your favor? And in my opinion, it's really not unfair. Basically, all you're doing is, encouraging people that might be hesitant buyers or people that aren't fully committed yet to hurry up and act upon that buying decision to buy your product. So in my opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong or immoral with doing this. If you're selling a good product and if it's something the buyer wants, then everybody wins on both sides. Really, it's no different than, if you were to go to a brick and mortar store and they were running a Black Friday deal where there were only a certain amount of, items on the shelf, but in reality, there's way more in the storehouse or the warehouse in the back. So there you have it, guys. I hope you learned something new. If you did, drop a like down below and it'll help other people find this video as well. If you have any questions or comments about what you've seen, also drop them down in the comment section and I'll do my best to try to get back to you. And finally, if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please consider subscribing. I drop new videos like this one all of the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. You're the best. And until the next time we see each other, have a great day and good luck selling on eBay. Bye, everyone.